This is a significantly harder video to do than the Genshin Impact counterpart. So, if you're like me at the moment, I believe honkai Star Rails is miles harder than Genshin Impact. And there's a specific reason for that. You may have figured it out already, or you may have not. But this is to help you guys build your characters in this game. The main difference with this game and Genshin Impact is that unlike Genshin, where you can have like one or two or three 4 DPS that can carry you through the entire game, this one you have to have a more stacked roster. What I mean by that is that, so rightfully, I want to have like 4 DPS, and that would be Kafka. You can be a DPS too. Who else? Who else I know is extremely strong? I could have Yan Quinn, and I could have this girl also Shan. The problem with this is that I need to build a lot of characters. DPS, sub DPS, supports, debuffers, and healers. Healers are very important. Very, very important. Especially when you're going up against waves of enemies. It is very important. And that is the main problem here. There are a lot of different situations, different type of battle that require different units
I shall uphold the principles of
to
knighthood,
beat.
to champion beauty and courage.
Oh, you speak right through it. You didn't do stop. So the way you level up your character, I believe it's actually the same, actually, but a little bit different. As when you check out your abilities, you have a basic attack which deals physical damage, and it's kind of different here. It scales based on 60% of Argent's attack to a same to enemy. So
Goddess Idrilla,
his basic attack doesn't
when will you
deal.
respond to my pleas again?
His basic attack doesn't deal the full attack that you would get from your relics and everything else. It actually deals a portion of it, and that's the basic attack. The ultimate consumes 90 energy to deal
I shall
physical
uphold the
damage to
principles of knighthood,
108%.
to
That's where I have it
champion
right
beauty
now.
and courage.
And then the skills deals physical damage equal to 90% of Argent's attack. In here, you want to basically upgrade their skills and their ultimate in
Goddess
their
Idrilla,
traces.
when will you
That's where you want to go. You want to go for their skills and their ultimate. But not every character is the same. You have to really read upon the character you're building in particular. Even like her, she's very tricky. I think for her, I'll have to build like her normal attack because her normal attack as a blast deals 168% damage, while her ultimate just deals content damage. This I'm building as well. Her skill immediately draw two tiles and increase the damage by 60%. It's great, but it's not really necessary. So for this, I probably will have to focus on our basic attack and our ultimate. So the traces are very difficult to. Yeah, it's important to build the traces, and the traces come first in this game actually. But you have to read on the specific traces that you're building. The relics now, you build your relics based on your traces, based on your skill, your ultimate, and your attack, based on what they scale on and stuff like that. So for her, I have two-piece attack, two-piece quantum damage bonus, and two-piece hurt of space station to give another attack percent bonus as well. So, and then her light cone is the other thing that I build up and then level up a character. Leveling up is quite easier in this game because it's more generous. And the reason why they do that is because you're going to need your characters leveled up. Because in this game, the enemies, not only do they have a good amount of health, but they're extremely hard to beat. Extremely hard to beat because they have some cracked mentality and some cheat codes about them. I can show you an example. If I go to this story, which I have not finished yet, this is how difficult this game is at the moment. Future market, this one. You're going there. Because
This familiar wind. A call to sweet remembrance.
I could go in it, but the problem is the team that I have set up for it at the moment.
The Supreme ready to enter Rivet? Keep your guards up.
Let's see. It's level 76. I can continue. I want to continue so I can show you something. And I apologize, this is still a long video. The team that I had for this match was set up. I set up the Trailblazer, Herta, Asta, and Natasha for healing. And the issue with this is the bosses here are a lot. So I need erudition type players. Erudition type players are players that can hit multiple players enemies at one time. Um Topaz would be okay for this, I believe. She should be able to help me in this. But the thing that I noticed once I started battling is that
Oh, hey there, slowpokes. I was starting to think you weren't gonna show.
let's skip.
The best kept secret to getting something over the line.
I'm skipping this because I know that I won't be able to beat it. Okay, so this is what I mean. They have some ridiculous buffs to them. And like how this is, and especially when I reach the last boss in particular, I can't beat them. Not because not because they're hard to beat,
This
but
familiar wind. A call to sweet remembrance.
not because they're hard to beat. It's just that they have an amazing amount of health to begin with. So you have to be hitting hard, first of all. And then the second thing is they have some ridiculous perks to them, which makes it incredibly hard to clear them. You have stuff like the simulated universe where you have Mr. Japard brings up this shield where he will not take any damage whatsoever, and it will be very difficult for you. There are instances in this game where it's very difficult to clear the content, and that's where this video comes up in the fact that you have to build a lot more players actually, and you have to build players for specific reasons. Hunt players, they're good at single targeting. Destruction are good at DPS, and how should I say this? Erudition are good at multiple enemies. That is why I have my team set up like this. I have my team set up in a way where we have the story, which is basically something that I am focusing on actually. So they're changeable, which I use this for depending on where I am. How should I say this? Where I'm farming basically. If I'm farming a bud or etc., I'll change it to what is required because one team for all is just not gonna work here in this game. The other one I have is my best debuffer, amplifier, and sustainer. My best debuffer would be Topaz. I'm still building her. My best amplifier would be Ting Yong. I'm still building her. My best sustainer would be Fushan. I'm still building her. And my best healer would be Lynx. I'm still building her. So the build processes take a lot of time in this game, a lot more than it does in Genshin Impact. This is my best 5 enemy team. These are DPS, and these will be my Erudition players. So Argenti, Himiko, Kafka, and Herta for 5 plus enemies, 4 to 5 enemies. When it's 3 enemies, that would be like a boss with like 2 backups or something like that. I would go for Erudition Argenti because he is very powerful. Kafka, Herta, Imiko, and then my single target, Argenti. Well, because Argenti is one of the strongest unit I have in the strongest potential unit. I haven't built him up yet. And Kafka, Young Quinn, and Kyujin. There are other units that are extremely cracked that I don't have here, but I have a setup where I already choose what I'm gonna build. Like Dan Hong, I have some great. I can't show him. There are other units, I guess. Asta is great at breaking shields for fire element, so I'm building her. This is another great amplifier. She's really good. Dan Hong has an amazing amount of damage if I build him correctly. Who else? This girl is cracked if you know how to build her correctly because she can basically take up to 3 turns and er I'll have to show you.
Life is
Her skill
something
does
as chaotic.
157 damage
Yeah.
percent and there's 256% damage of system attack. So if I build her attack, she can do an incredible amount of damage once I set her properly. She currently at the moment is doing more damage than Argenti that I have. And that's only because I haven't built up Argenti fully yet. But she is cracked. Like cones, very important. Very important, but yeah, very important. The problem with this game is that you and I guess they kind of mitigate it by giving you a lot of options to give you materials and stuff like that. But if you don't know how to use the resources and where to use them, you're gonna end up being left in the dark very easily because when the enemies started getting tough, they started getting tough. Outworld,
Come.
Outworld like this, you can take on everybody under normal situations. But like when you go to like a special event, like say I go and I want to face which one is it? It's Kafka's. This one. I have not finished this one yet. And if I think I could basically me finishing this is 50-50. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to defeat this cracked kid, but I'll try. And I need to make sure that I have the right team. Now, this is gonna come into what I was talking about to begin with. Kafka is needed there. I need Kafka there. I need an imaginary. character. And you see why. And I need a wind character. And I'll show you the problem with it. I need erudition characters basically. And it's for these kids. Let's put on a healer because we're gonna need a healer. We're going to need the heals. I will show you why this is a problem. Let's skip you. It's okay right now.
Sword, heed me.
So 1 attack, 2 attack.
Move carefully.
This is the issue. You have a big question mark on each of these swords, and each of these swords have either 3 weakness. They either have an electric weakness, wind weakness, or a imaginary weakness. And in order to break the swords, you have to hit it with the right weakness. And this is where you're gonna need an erudition character or a character that can hit multiple
Don't hesitate.
items with the same element. Now, let's try this. This is wind, and we hit it with electric. So we lost out on that because it didn't hit for any of them. It should be imaginary. So it breaks that sword.
Naughty children, don't listen.
And there we go. We missed out on 3 whole swords that we could have broken in that time.
Nap time.
We're gonna use Electro on these 2. So it's gonna basically tell me that if any of these are Electro. Okay, the one at the end is Electro. So we got that good.
You're all in on it.
Look how much he
Step
attacked it.
aside. I have no interest in stoking conflict.
So we know this is not Electro. We're gonna use wind on this and Electro.
Time now.
Relax.
Okay, so we managed to break this one. Let's run a
Just
heal.
in time. Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
So we know that this one is an imaginary. It should be imaginary. It's not. See the problem now?
Punish evil. I'm just warming up.
Jesus Christ. It says it's not Electro. See, it's not Electro, so it's wind. They're too smart.
Stay the course.
This is very difficult.
Gale force.
Need to boost everybody's
Time
attack.
for a shot. Here comes the medicine.
Don't worry about me.
This should break you. Okay.
The wind is rising. Cloud kites, formation! Bolts from the boom!
To be fair,
Never last. Time to say bye.
all these characters need to be leveled up.
The truth of life and death, revealed in an instant. This sanctuary is but a vision.
But he hits hard. She won't survive.
My blade levels armies.
Look at that. Jesus Christ.
Naughty children, don't listen.
So I'm halfway with his health. 2 of my teammates are dead. Kafka almost died.
Just in time.
I won't win it.
Think nothing of
Thanks. You're too good to me.
it. Nap time.
Stand
The
still.
team will be alright. But the issue is, because it took so long to clear all of these swords, which he brings up again. And this is a level 4 attacks back to back. 5 attacks. Which caused me hell.
Good times never last. Time to say bye.
So it's just very difficult to even pass this character.
This isn't the end. You're in bad shape.
I can quit. I know I'm not gonna win that match. I know I'm not gonna win that match. But that's just what I'm showing you. So it's not really that the bosses are hard. It's just that they have some very tedious methods of fighting, and it's this. It's the worst fighting against them, really. Like the team that I have to fight him should be able to beat him, but because of his skill, because of the annoying method that he has to basically say, yeah, we're gonna make it extremely hard for you to hit me because I'm gonna have these 4 swords that you're gonna have to gamble on to guess which one of them is correct. Now, there's a team that I could use that's better at it if I replace Deng Hung with this kid, Sample.
Miss Natasha! I thought I owed you a favor.
It could work because he could hit multiple of the swords, so it wouldn't be too much of a gamble again. And for the imaginary now, this is very difficult. I think this is my only imaginary. Yeah, I don't have an imaginary player that can hit multiple enemies. That's basically an issue. That's something I may need to look at in the future, to find somebody that can hit multiple. And then the other thing is that you see how much damage that kid did to my roster. And I don't have these characters upgraded all the way. A Relic is 14 there. We shouldn't be dying so easily. It's 2500 health. This one is suffering from health. Oh, his Lycon is low, so I can understand that. And then he has a bit of HP from this too. So maybe if I build him up stronger, it could help. But the issue is you have to have specific characters to beat specific things in the game. Even the situation that I showed you with the Topaz incident, I need erudition characters for that. And I'm thinking that I may have to change it up because it's fire element weakness for most of them. I think I'm going to need Topaz. I'm going to need Himiko in that situation, and Herta I'll keep. I think because Herta has weakness for most of them. So it should be Herta, Himiko, and another fireman. Probably Asta as well, because Asta can hit multiple. And the only way the boss really gets massive buff is if you have characters on the field that has no weakness break. So that's the state of honkai star rail. It's difficult. It's very difficult. Not because you can't build a character, but because you have to do more investment in characters and you have to build specific characters for specific things. This 6 slots for teams is far too little. You need a lot more teams than what is shown to you right here. This is why I don't use these for teams. I just use these for, well, t- characters that I'm focused on building basically. And this doesn't even have all the characters that I'm building basically. This basically have all the highest DPS players that I can know that I need to focus on these DPS and then build them. I have a I have a how should I say it? I have a guide separately where I have all of the DPS that I want to build, all of the supports, all of the amplifiers, all of the sustains, all of the debuffers, and I'll be building all of them actually. And I have around 5 to 6 characters that are good with erudition. So honkai star rail just takes a lot more investment, way much more investment, and this takes so much more time. But trust me, it's hard if you don't have the right team set up for the right battle. And at the moment, I don't have the right team set up for him. And even that's why I'm afraid to even level up the. That's why I'm even afraid to touch this yet, because if I touch this again, that means that he will go up from where he is right now to 76 to 80 something, probably 86 or something like that. I don't know how he's gonna scale up to begin with. And I need my characters to be stronger so they can actually beat these guys. Natasha is not a case I need to upgrade because, as you see, Natasha can survive that stuff. The others, on the other hand, somehow can survive it. Yukon, Kafka, and the rest can't survive it. So, okay, Star Rail is different, man. Especially when you get to the end game, you have to spend a lot of time and effort into this, and it's not as easy. I'm not saying it should get easier. This game should not get easier. This game should stay where it is. This game is a challenging game, and it just plays a little bit different than Genshin Impact in many ways. And another thing you have to remember and to factor in is that you will always get hit. It's not like in Genshin where you can compensate with being skillful and avoiding attacks and having a shield up and stuff like that, and you know that you can block any attacks. In this game, you're gonna get hit. And the principle behind this is you have to hit them first hard and fast before they hit you or you're done. Thank you guys for watching. This is kind of a ramble, but I think I kind of get my point across a bit.